Craig Robbins. We're thrilled to introduce our next speaker, Craig Robbins, the Chief Executive Officer and President of DACRA. Mr. Robbins is an entrepreneur, real estate developer, and art collector based in Miami, Florida. For more than 2 decades, Mr. Robbins has nurtured and cultivated the growth of the Miami Design District, which has become an international destination. The 18-square block neighborhood is dedicated to commerce and culture, with fashion, fine dining, design, and art around every corner. Today, with his partner Elle Catterton, his work in the neighborhood continues, and he is here to speak about it with us.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm Craig Robbins, the CEO of DACRA, and I'm here to speak to you about the Miami Design District, which I've developed along with my partners at Elle Catterton in this wonderful virtual summit for the Doha Design District, developed by Masharib. My first visit to Doha, I can't remember exactly, but it was sometime probably after 2005 when Sheikh Al Mayasa graciously invited us to come look. We were talking about possibly doing something with Design Miami. And then I remember in 2008 going back and actually having conversations about the Doha Design District. There was even talk for a little while of maybe having us participate. It seems to have really come a long way, which delights me. My last visit to Doha, I believe, was in January of 2020, which seems like another lifetime given what we've all been through. But what changes I saw, and it was wonderful to be back. It's a place in the world that I really enjoy visiting. A lot of people ask how I started the Miami Design District, and the truth is I didn't start it. Theodore Moore did in the 20s when he converted his pineapple farm into the Moore Furniture Company. But since then, a lot has happened. At one point, it evolved to be an epicenter for furniture showrooms, and then it went into severe decline. In the mid-90s, as a major developer, probably the largest property holder and developer in the historical district of Miami Beach, I realized that the historical design district neighborhood had enormous potential. And so I very quietly began to assemble buildings so that the prices wouldn't get driven up and so that we could have critical mass. And probably announced that we were involved almost at around 2000, about 21 years ago, at which time we began to bring back the furniture companies. And then realizing that furniture alone wasn't enough, it doesn't really make a vibrant neighborhood, and it certainly doesn't bring a lot of people around, because how often do you buy a sofa? I realized that we needed to do other things. So the first thing I did was helped collaborate with Art Basel and bring them to Miami, which was an enormous catalyst to defining our community as a real city of cultural substance. And when we did that, the design district became an epicenter for cultural events and activations during the Art Basel period. That led in 2005 to me co-founding Design Miami, which was the first global design collecting show, treating collectible design like art. It really changed the world because it made people realize that the Miami Design District was an important inventor of global cultural content. And it led to us collaborating with all kinds of different companies and brands, but most importantly, the world's most advanced, thoughtful, and creative fashion brands. And through that process, I realized that if we could actually add to furniture design, culture, art in general, and also food and beverage, if we could add luxury fashion, then it would be transformative. In 2010, I formed a partnership with Elle Catterton, and we began to master plan the whole design district. We acquired a lot more property and came up with a plan where, over time, all of the important luxury brands, fashion and watch and jewelry brands in the world, committed to come to the neighborhood, but to do something very different. They came to build global flagships, and they did it in different ways because the design district was equally a place for culture as it was a place to do business. And so the normal business models didn't apply. They needed to do something even more special. And that was the next phase of advancing the Miami Design District. To really understand how the Design District has impacted Miami, it's almost more important first to take a step back. Miami had become a less vibrant city in many ways in the 80s. It wasn't really advancing in the way it had earlier. And I began working in the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. And that put Miami on the map in a different way. And so Miami ended up being redefined during that moment and got back a lot of the glamour that we had had in the 50s and 60s. The design district for me was the opportunity to move all of that forward, to go past essentially a tourist fun in the sun destination and to focus on helping to define Miami as an important cultural place. From the onset, we focused on making the neighborhood 50% for culture and 50% for people to do creative businesses. When you walk around the design district, it's an outdoor museum of art, architecture, and design. In addition, there's a lot of cultural content in the neighborhood. We've got 2 major museums now. We also have probably a half a dozen other really inventive, creative exhibition spaces. Then, as we started to add to the furniture design, fashion brands, luxury fashion brands, more restaurants, more cultural content, the neighborhood really began to flourish. And these stores did things that were amazing. They treated it like a different place. They felt like they wanted to be part of this vision and in a way redefine retail. And that has added this extra dimension to the neighborhood that has really catapulted it to a different level. I think the design district has contributed to the Miami community. It's shown that our city can be an important inventor of global cultural content. It's also now probably one of 15 destinations in the world for luxury fashion. They're doing things in a different way. And that's just another step in a process where we can continue to add to this neighborhood and do things that are inventive and that will contribute to the whole. What's important to me is that the design district is a really beautiful place. It's wonderful to walk around and see, but it is for everybody. It's a place where everyone feels comfortable and it caters to different economic levels, different ages, and that makes it a place that everyone wants to be. Today, the district is an 18-block area. We own about 70% of it. There are lots of other property holders in the neighborhood. Our holdings are approximately 1 million square feet. We have another 3 million square feet of development rights. We're beginning to plan what we're going to do with them. It'll be mainly office, hospitality, and some residential, but it's an open-air neighborhood, a creative neighborhood, a place where all kinds of people can come, set up businesses, live, work, and play. Like Doha, the Miami Design District is a place that really appreciates and loves great architecture. From having the historical Buckminster Fuller's Fly's Eye Dome to Fujimoto's first structure in the United States, beautiful, beautiful building by Johnston Mark Lee. Everywhere you walk, there's interesting architecture. One of the things we've focused on is finding super talented architects that would be inspired by the neighborhood. And in each collaboration, that's manifested in a really wonderful way. It's not just us that does the architecture, because some of the brands have done these freestanding flagships. So for example, Louis Vuitton hired Jun Aoki to do their building. And you see throughout the neighborhood art installations like Urs Fischer's Bus Stop, design installations like Zaha Hadid's Elastica, or a fence designed by Mark Newson. Everywhere you look, there's something fun and interesting to see. One of the things that I find very exciting about what's happening in the Doha Design District is I've lived through and watched how the Miami Design District can just continue to add layers to our community that have a much broader impact on our city. And similarly, that's what the Doha Design District can and will do. It's going to be very exciting for me to watch it unfold. Can't wait to come back. Thank you again to Ms. Sharab for including me in the Doha Design District Virtual Summit. Thank you for having me.